CarFax is one of the most successful marketing products in automotive history. It is sold to consumers as a protection tool, the thing you run before you buy a used vehicle to make sure the history is clean. What it actually is a data aggregation service built on voluntary reporting from a network of sources that has significant, documented, and structurally permanent gaps. CarFax does not have access to every state's title database. It does not receive mandatory reporting from every insurance company. It does not capture every salvage event, every flood declaration, or every odometer rollback that occurs in the United States. It captures the ones that were reported to sources it has contracts with, in the states where the reporting infrastructure exists, through channels that cooperate with its data collection system. The gaps are not bugs in the product. They are features of a business model that needs the report to appear comprehensive without actually being comprehensive. A clean CarFax is not a guarantee of a clean history. It is a guarantee that nothing damaging was reported through the channels CarFax monitors. Those are not the same statement. Dealers know this. The used car industry was built on this distinction. You were supposed to believe they were the same thing. This video is the database architecture the industry does not want retail buyers to understand. Start with what CarFax actually is. CarFax licenses data from state DMVs, auto auctions, insurance companies, dealership service departments, and inspection stations. The coverage is uneven by design. Some states report comprehensively, others minimally, and a handful report almost nothing. Florida, for example, has historically had weaker title branding enforcement and DMV reporting pipelines than states like Texas or California. A vehicle that was declared a total loss by an insurer in Florida, purchased at a Florida salvage auction, and then retitled in Georgia through a process called title washing, may appear with a clean Georgia title and no adverse history on a CarFax report. The vehicle was totaled, the vehicle was salvaged, the title was washed across a state line. The CarFax shows nothing because the Florida salvage event was not reported into the CarFax pipeline and the Georgia retitling did not trigger a salvage flag. This is not a hypothetical. Title washing is a documented, persistent problem in the American used vehicle market. The National Insurance Crime Bureau estimates that tens of thousands of washed title vehicles enter the retail market every year. CarFax's own terms of service acknowledge that its database does not include all title events from all jurisdictions. It says this quietly in the footnotes after the bold green check marks on the front page have already done their work. The first database that goes deeper than CarFax is the National Motor Vehicle Title Information System, NMVTIS. This is a federally mandated database operated under the Anti-Car Theft Act that requires insurance companies, salvage yards, and junk dealers to report total loss events, salvage titles, and vehicle destruction to a central federal repository. Reporting to NMVTIS is not voluntary, it is a federal legal requirement. Every insurance company that declares a total loss is required to report that event to NMVTIS within a defined time frame. Every salvage yard that crushes a vehicle is required to report it. The coverage is structurally broader than CarFax because the reporting mandate comes from federal law, not from commercial contracts. NMVTIS reports are available through authorized providers including vehiclehistory.com, AutoCheck via Experian, and a handful of other licensed resellers. The cost is typically $2 to $7 per report, a fraction of what CarFax charges for a less complete picture. Run NMVTIS on every vehicle you're seriously considering. It will serve for salvage events that CarFax missed, total loss declarations from insurers who do not participate in the CarFax data network, and out-of-state title actions that move through states with weaker CarFax data sharing agreements. The second database is your state DMV's own title history query system. Most states maintain a public-facing vehicle title history lookup that allows any citizen to query the title record for a vehicle registered or previously registered in that state. The Texas DMV title history search at txdmv.gov returns every title transaction in Texas for a given VIN, every owner, every title brand applied, every lien recorded and released, and the date of each action going back decades. California's DMV offers a similar lookup. Florida, Ohio, Illinois, Pennsylvania, most large states have this functionality, and it is free or costs under $5 per search. What it shows that CarFax does not is the raw transaction record from the state government's own database. A lien that was recorded but not discharged, meaning the previous owner still has an outstanding loan against the vehicle, shows on the state DMV record. If you buy a vehicle with an undisclosed active lien, the lien holder has a legal claim against the vehicle that survives the sale. You cannot get a clean title until the lien is satisfied. You have purchased someone else's debt obligation secured against the asset you just bought with your own money. The CarFax will not always show an undischarged lien. The state DMV title history almost always will run both. The 5 minutes and the $4 are not optional on any private sale above $5,000. The third check is the NICBVIN check. The National Insurance Crime Bureau operates a free public database that flags vehicles reported as stolen, salvaged through NICB member insurers, or identified as having a compromised VIN. The NICB database at nicb.org costs nothing and takes 30 seconds. It is not comprehensive. It only captures events reported through NICB member channels, but it is a fast first-pass filter that surfaces the clearest fraud cases. A stolen vehicle that was recovered and resold without disclosure will often appear in the NICB database. A vehicle with a cloned VIN, where a legitimate VIN plate from a clean vehicle has been grafted onto a stolen or salvaged chassis, will sometimes be detectable through a cross-reference between the NICB database and the physical VIN inspection that follows. Physical VIN inspection is not optional on any private sale. The VIN plate on the dashboard driver's side, visible through the windshield, should match the VIN on the door jamb sticker, the VIN stamped on the firewall, and the VIN on the title document. On trucks, there is often a VIN stamp on the frame rail near the front axle. Mismatches between any of these locations indicate a VIN alteration event. This is not a clerical error, this is a federal crime, and a vehicle you do not buy under any circumstances. The fourth check targets odometer fraud, the deliberate rollback of a vehicle's displayed mileage to inflate its market value. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that odometer fraud costs American consumers over $1 billion annually. The victims are almost exclusively private sale buyers who did not run the right checks. The right check is the CarFax odometer history cross-referenced against the service record mileage stamps. But CarFax only captures odometer readings from sources in its network. The deeper check is the state inspection record. Most states that require annual or biannual vehicle safety inspections record the odometer reading at the time of inspection and store it in a state database. In Texas, you can pull every annual safety inspection record for a vehicle from the TXDPS Texas Shore System, with the odometer reading documented at each inspection date. If the inspection records show 87,000 miles in 2021 and 104,000 miles in 2022, and the truck is now being sold with 79,000 miles on the odometer, the rollback is documented in the state's own inspection history. This check takes 4 minutes. It is free. It has caught rollbacks on vehicles that received clean CarFax reports because the rollback was performed in a gap between CarFax reporting events. The fifth check is the lien search beyond the DMV record. In most states, vehicle liens are recorded with the DMV, but commercial fleet vehicles, vehicles held by corporate entities, and vehicles used as collateral for non-standard lending arrangements can have liens recorded through the Secretary of State's UCC, Uniform Commercial Code, filing system rather than the DMV. A contractor who pledged his truck as collateral for a business line of credit may have that lien recorded as a UCC filing rather than a DMV lien, depending on how the lending was structured. Your state's Secretary of State website provides a free UCC lien search by VIN or debtor name. This is a 2-minute search that surfaces the category of lien that private sellers and some dealers are least likely to disclose because most buyers never check for it. A UCC lien on a vehicle does not prevent the sale, but it does not disappear with the sale either. The lien holder retains their security interest until the debt is discharged. You need to know it exists before the money moves, not after. Here is the complete pre-purchase title check sequence that every serious private sale buyer should run before scheduling the physical inspection. Step 1. NMVTIS. Report through vehiclehistory.com or AutoCheck. $2 to $7, 5 minutes. Step 2. State DMV title history for the state where the vehicle is currently titled and any prior states if the seller mentions previous out-of-state ownership. $3 to $5 per state, 5 minutes. Step 3. NICBVIN check at nicb.org. Free 30 seconds. Step 4. State Safety Inspection Odometer history for every state where the vehicle has been inspected. Free in most states, 4 minutes. Step 5. Secretary of State UCC lien search by VIN. Free, 2 minutes. Step 6. Physical VIN inspection at 4 locations. Dashboard plate, door jamb sticker, firewall stamp, frame rail stamp against the title document. Total cost for this sequence, under $15. Total time, under 25 minutes. What you have at the end is a title picture that is structurally more complete than what a $45 CarFax delivers, sourced from databases that report under legal mandate rather than commercial contract, and checked against the physical vehicle for consistency. CarFax is a starting point, it is not a conclusion. Treat it as a preliminary filter and run everything else before you commit $1. There is one final title trap that does not show on any database and requires a conversation, not a search. It is called the Notice of Security Interest, a lien filed by a financial institution that has not yet been recorded in the state DMV system because the recording process has a lag of 30 to 60 days after origination. A seller who took out a title loan against the vehicle 2 weeks before listing it may have a lien that does not yet appear in the DMV database because the recording has not cleared the state's processing pipeline. The check for this is direct. Ask the seller for the title document in person before you commit to any price. In most states, a vehicle with an active lien does not have a clean title in the seller's physical possession. The lien holder holds the title until the loan is discharged. If the seller does not have the physical title in hand at the time of the inspection, ask why. If the answer involves a bank or a lender in any form, the deal does not close until you have verified lien discharge documentation from that institution in writing. A seller who has a clean vehicle and a clean title can hand you the paper. A seller who cannot hand you the paper has told you everything you need to know about the transaction. The next video covers the dealer financing trap, the mechanism inside every dealership finance office that converts a truck you could own for $28,000 into a $47,000 obligation through a sequence of products, term extensions, and rate markups that are legal, invisible, and deployed against every buyer who walks into the F&I office without knowing the playbook in advance. Watch it before you set foot in any dealership. Subscribe to Truck Guide. We run the title history so the paper matches the metal before the money ever moves.